Hey everybody, this is Mark Gable. I'm a friend of Dave Landau's from college. I wanted to take a second to let everybody know how Dave and I are friends and what Dave means to me in my life. We met actually at FIU, which is Florida International University in Miami. I transferred down my junior year and began my new life down in Miami as not only just a student, but as a resident assistant as well. I met Dave, I don't know if it was my junior year or not. I think it was. We had a lot of common friends in common. And when he introduced himself to me, he walked up to me and he goes, "Hello, I'm Dave Landau." So for the next 2 years, we called him Dave, because he always said, "Hi, I'm Dave Landau." So this is a video about Dave and myself. We spent our junior and the summer between my junior and senior year down at FIU. We played on a softball team and also a flag football team, and we called ourselves the Dollar Drafts. The Dollar Drafts were famous, or I'll say famous, put in quotes, because of Flanagan's Bar and Grill had dollar drafts on the weekends as well as 25-cent wings. And I worked for Flanagan's and was able to get them to sponsor our flag football team. Can't remember if Dave was on both flag football and softball or just softball, but either way, I remember we ran around in that group together. Dave graduated shortly before me. He graduated in December of 93. I guess it would have been December of 92. I graduated in the spring of 93. And Dave took a job with the Navy Morale, Welfare, and Recreation, or we called it MWR. He really loved working for the Navy, and he actually, when I was interviewing, he said to me, he goes, "Whatever you do, if there's a woman named Kay Holt, please make sure you talk during your interview about the University of North Carolina," because Kay went to school with Michael Jordan, and during the heyday of Michael Jordan's basketball days, North Carolina was on top of the world. So it just so happened the day of my interview, there was hundreds of people interviewing with the Navy and as well as other positions, but I really wanted to work for the Navy. The University of North Carolina was on the cover of Sports Illustrated. And I happened to see a copy of it on my way to the interview, and I bought it. And I walked into the interview, and it was Kay that was there. And I said, "Can I tell you something before we get started?" And she's like, "What?" She goes, I said, "I just wanted to bring you a little present. I brought you a little present," and pushed the cover of the Sports Illustrated towards her. And she goes, "Oh my God, we've got a brown noser here." So for the next 45 minutes or so, we talked about nothing but University of North Carolina. And basically, we talked nothing about the job. At the end of the interview, she goes, "Our time is up here." And she goes, "I know you've done your homework about me." She goes, "Do you have any questions about the job?" And I said, "No, my friend Dave, he actually works for you." She goes, "Dave Landau works? I mean, you know Dave Landau?" And I said, "Yeah, I do." She goes, "Well, any friend of Dave's is a friend of mine." And she hired me pretty much right there on the spot. And I spent the next 3 years working for the Navy. And I really thank Dave from the bottom of my heart for getting me that job and for opening that door for me. Unfortunately, after college, I live in Maryland, he lives in Arizona or New York, depending on where he was at the time. We kind of lost track of each other, but we stayed friends through Facebook. And I just wish we lived closer, because he's an amazing guy. I would have loved to have sat in some of his classes to listen to him teach to different students. I just know he's reached out to so many people. I've never heard him ever say one bad thing about anybody or even be angry or be rude or anything like that. He's always full of humor. I love his wit. And he's not only a lot of fun to make fun of, but he also loves making fun of all of us too. So Dave, fight the fight. I know this has been tough, but you're surrounded by your friends and family, and we love you very much.